Hey guys, it's me Amit. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to memorize case laws. I got a comment, any tricks to remember DB case laws? Well, each case law is different, so making each video on each and every case law would be difficult. So I will be sharing the tricks on how to memorize them. Basically this video would be covering the basic structure on how you can formulate a strategy to remember different case laws. So it would be a like thumb rule for each and everything. Like each and every part would be already um, discussed and already thought beforehand. You will just implement it. So that is all video is all about. And I would request everyone to, if you are watching my video and if you find something good about it, you can comment. And if you think there is any scope of improvement, please comment. Okay, I just want to share that. Please comment, because your feedback is really important and your comments are like oxygen to me. So please comment. Okay, now let's start with the topic. Before going forward, you need to understand how the citation works. So how the case law is, is being put up a reference, or how you can, what are the different parts of the case law. First is plaintiff. It is the person who filed the complaint, and that complaint is filed against a person that is known as defendant, and that defendant is going to respond. So it is also known as respondent. Respond to the complaint filed by plaintiff. Year of verdict or judgment. It is the year in which the judgment or the verdict was passed by the adjudicating authority. The adjudicating authority is the authority who is going to pass the verdict, so who is looking after the case. Now this whole case law is written somewhere. It is not jotted down each and everything. That particular thing where it is written, or a book where it is written, is known as journal or report. Okay. Now since it will be a big book, we have to cut it down into several parts, and those parts are known as volume. And in that volume there are certain x number of pages. Where does this case belong is that page number reference is mentioned over here. So let's again quickly recap. That is plaintiff, where the case is who filed the complaint. Defendant, who is going to defend, is going to respond. Year of verdict. Adjudicating authority. Next is where the case is written in this book, which volume, this volume, and what is the page number where you can find this whole case. Okay, so essentially these three things are the address of the case where you can read. Now let's see through an example, like CIT versus Singapore Airlines Limited 2015, 377 ITR 372 SC. Let's break it down. First is CIT, that is Commissioner of Income Tax, versus Singapore Airlines Limited, so defendant. 2015, year of verdict or judgment. 377 is the volume. ITR is the report, that is known as Income Tax Report. 372, that is the page number in which the case was written, and the adjudicating authority, Supreme Court. I guess now you would be having a fair idea like how a citation works about a case law. Now before moving forward, you need to understand the reason to memorize. Now there could be two. One is practical and second is academic. Practical. From my own experience, I would like to share. If you are preparing something, some arguments for your appeal, or preparing the memorandum or submission for an appeal, in that case you would be searching so many case laws. You would be going to Google and finding it out. So, and you would be also reading it so many times. You might be typing it out, writing it out here and there, and memorizing it. So you might have already used that case law so many times that it is already ingrained in yourself. So you don't need any tricks to remember those type of case laws, and those need perfect precision if you are writing in that. Okay, so these are the two reasons why I think this video will not help you, because you cannot memorize something which you already know. There is no trick for that. You would be already having that case law by heart if you are using it so many times. So that is from my personal experience. So whenever I used to make an appeal, or I make an appeal like on anything, or forming a submission, and in that case I don't need much effort. But yeah, of course, for academic purposes, this video will help you. From academic point of view, we don't need full precision. So there are some things which I'm not going to focus. I'm not going to put pressure to remember, or something. In some parts I am. So that's academic point of view. So this video is more for academics point of view. Let's start. Coming back to the format, these three things, that is the location of the case, volume, report, and the page number, I feel that is not important from exam point of view. So I never put pressure on myself to remember this. So I straight away cancel it out. So for me, this three things is not what I have to remember. For me, the things which I have to remember is CIT, Singapore Airlines Limited, 2015, Supreme Court. These are the only four things: authority, year, defendant, and plaintiff. Okay, so only things. Okay, Supreme Court, 2015, Singapore Airlines, and CIT. This is what I have to remember. Now, how I am going to remember? I have to have a image, video, or an animation of all these things into my brain. That is the easiest and quickest way to remember this. Now, how we are going to think? There are certain cardinal rules. First is the image should be weird. Like it should be so weird and so unique that you cannot think about it in 100 years. So you have to think about that, and that image should be or would be unique to you yourself. So it may happen the image created by you, remember this case law, an image created by some other person would be totally different. You don't have to be much fixated in that. You have to just use your own imagination. Second thing is, I would like to say there are two types of images that we are going to say. I discussed two types of parts. One is static and one is dynamic. Of course, some of the things which I am saying is might not make much sense, but you can rewatch this video if you want. But I think that at the end of the video you get a fair understanding about it. So again, two images, one is static and second is dynamic. When I say static, sorry. So when I say static, it means is the image will not change. We have to, certain parts should be static, like their image should not be changed. And in our example, we have authority and year to be static. Like Supreme Court should be only one, so you can use only one image for Supreme Court. Okay, for year it should be just one image for 1 year. You cannot have 100 of images for 1 year. Just 1 year, one image. For defendant and plaintiff, it is Khelo India Khelo. So you have to think your own thought, like you should use your own creativity and have a play with it. Okay, so it will be dynamic in nature. You have to keep on changing that image, and it will be very dynamic. But for static, you can have this thing. Let's go deeper and you'll be able to understand. Now, first, what are the images that you can use for adjudicating authority? You would go in reverse order, of course. So, adjudicating authority, then year, and then plaintiff defendant. Authorities. In Income Tax Act, there are 4 authorities. Of course, if you are using this for a different field, not direct tax, then you can amend this. Or if you are a person of using for a case law which is not in India, and of course the authorities would be different. So you have to tweak a little bit, or some new amendments have came when you are watching this video and the authorities have changed. In that case, you have to make some small tweaks, small changes which could help you to remember. Okay, so essentially 4 authorities in income tax. CIT appeals, that is Commissioner of Income Tax Act appeals, then ITAT, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, then High Court, Supreme Court. Let's go each and every image which I used to use. Of course, you can change it, but you cannot have the one. You should have one image for the rest of all the case law. So you cannot keep on changing. But of course, what I'm going to share is my examples. You can have your own. CIT appeals. So when I think of CIT appeals, is like every now and then when there is a dispute, if some there is some dispute between kids, then kids generally complain like, I'm going to complain to your parents or their parents or something like that. And so I use my mother's image for representing CIT appeals. Okay, because she is like the first line of defense. Okay. Now, but sometimes CIT appeals is a plaintiff or defendant and not the adjudicating authority. So we should have a separate image for each of them. So what I do is I put my mother as it is. The only thing is I would imagine as if she is wearing this t-shirt. If she is adjudicating authority, मेरे पास माँ है. So if she is wearing this t-shirt, I would think of her role in that image as an CIT appeal, as an adjudicating authority, and not as a plaintiff or defendant. Okay, so that's clear. That's the reason why I have an asterisk over here. ITET. For that I use Tata. So we can put a A over here. So Tata logo. I use that logo and pick it up in that image to make sure that adjudicating authority is ITET. Next is High Court. Well, let's skip High Court for a while and move to Supreme Court. Supreme Court is like at the Supreme. I think of my grandfather image over there. So I just put my grandfather over there when I have to think about High Court. As it's rightly said in the mark, हर बाप का एक बाप होता है और उसे हम दादाजी कहते हैं. Okay, so that goes over there. But for High Court, essentially High Court, people don't put like in the citation, you don't see High Court as HC written over there, but you see the state initial where the High Court is. So for example, if it is Bombay High Court who has passed the decision, it will be written BOM. Okay. So in this case, we have to remember the states, and we have to have a separate image for each and every state. Let's see how it can be done. For states, we can, I just use 4 different ways to remember that. First is unique place, second is event, third is politicians, celebrities or organization, and next is relatives or friends. Unique place. There are certain unique places about a particular state. You can use them. For example, India Gate, that is Bombay, Desert, Rajasthan, Statue of Unity, Gujarat, God's own country, that would be Kerala, IT capital, that is Bangalore, that is Karnataka. Now in IT capital, it is difficult to have an image for IT capital, so I just use Intel or motherboard image or supercomputer image, something like that. Land of 5 rivers, that is Punjab. Event, like there are certain events that have happened in a particular place. You can use that, like terrorist attack on Taj, like Bombay, 2011 rain, Uttarayan, that is kite festival. You can also use Lori over there. In a group of people celebrating that. You can use that. Durga Puja, like West Bengal, and Ganesh Chaturthi in Mumbai, Bombay High Court. So you can use that. Now, if you are interested in politics, then you can use politician. If you are into Bollywood, you can use celebrities. If you are into share market, you can use organizations. Okay. So let's see, Balasaheb Thackeray, Bombay, Narendra Modi, Gujarat, Mamata Banerjee, West Bengal, Priya, well, she's from Kerala, you can use that. PNB, that is Punjab National Bank, you can use that for Punjab and Haryana High Court. Bank of Baroda, then in that case you can use Gujarat, like Gujarat, relative and friends. Of course, we all have so many families, members, if they are not staying with us and they are out of state, you can use their image. And even if some of your relatives or might went out of you know, out of the state to remember to for further studies or for the jobs, somewhere you can also still use them. It's like their image can help you out as well. I hope this is clear. Of course, you have to have a full list of states and each and one image each map to them, and you have to use it throughout the whole preparation. You cannot change it in middle. Now we have dealt with Supreme Court. Let's go to year. Again, year the same thing. You have to remember each and every year with one single image or one single thing. Now for that you can divide it in three parts, that is global event, national event and personal event. Global event, if you are tracking some global news, if you are into some sector or some country, then you would be knowing this. Okay, and you have to work on that. Like for example, I'm little bit inclined over financial markets, so for me it's very easy to remember Lehman Brothers. So when the financial crisis happened in 2008, Lehman Brothers closed out their business. So when I can use their logo, remember 2008 case closed. 2016 Brexit referendum. The referendum for Brexit took place in 2016, so I used that sign of Brexit and European Union and people voting for the referendum for 2016. 2017 US election where Trump won. Many people were not expecting that, but yeah, it was a unique day, unique event. You can remember that. Now coming to India, well, if you are not too global, you can use national event or Indian events. Like in 2014, general election took place where BJP came, and at that time there was one slogan which was very popular, that is "Ab ki baar Modi Sarkar," and the Modi wave came, and in 2014 BJP won the election. So you can use that year with that slogan and something like that. Or you can put up an image of Bhajap logo, BJP logo, or Modi's image, or Amit Shah, whatever interesting. Anyway, so that's helpful. In 2018, a big scam that took place, that is for Punjab National Bank and Nirav Modi scam. So you can use that image for yourself to remember 2018. Yeah, but here's one catch. If you're using Punjab National Bank for remembering Punjab and Haryana High Court, then you cannot use it over here, right? Because that could be a conflict. So ensure that every time you have a separate thing for separate image for separate thing. You have to ensure that there is no conflict. Now coming to personal event in 2015, well for me is I uploaded my first video on YouTube. So that is something close to my heart. So I use that to remember. Of course, there are so many personal events that has happened in your life, and you cannot share. Of course, it may happen. You may not be able to share with everyone else, but yeah, you can use it to remember. It's very good. Okay. Now let's see. We have already dealt with Supreme Court in 2015. That is adjudicating authority and the year of verdict. Now coming to plaintiff and defendant. Well, in this case, it is Hello India Killer that I already shared with you. So you have to use your own creativity. Now I cannot say some specific rule like how you can go about it, but only thing is it should be weird and unique. So let's take some of the examples to just get into the rhythm. Plaintiff independent. Let's see, first example, Queen's Educational Society. Well, when I think of Queens, I think of Queen. That for me, that comes to my mind is Queen Elizabeth. Uh, it may happen that you may think of someone else like Padmavati. Recently, the movie came with Deepika Padukone, or Jhansi ki Rani, Rani Lakshmibai, anything that helps you. You can use that image or take that image or take her as an in your imagination. Next is educational society. Well, society. So I would use Gokuldam society. Of course, you can use your own society, but yeah, I would use Gokuldam society. Educational. The only person that teaches at Gokuldam society is Bhide. So I would think of like instead of Bhide, Queen Elizabeth has came to Gokuldam society and teaching some students. Now that would be a simple thing, but make it more complex, weird. Let's get that and get it in the video format instead of. Let's think that Queen Elizabeth came in when Vile was teaching at Gokulam Society, and she kicked out Vile and she started teaching. So that is unique. That is weird. Okay. It should be something that's very different. Let's see next example. Avenue Super Chips Private Limited. If you know DMart, the company which owns DMart brand is Avenue Supermarkets. So I would use DMart logo to represent Avenue Super Chips Private Limited. Super Chips, so chips is nothing but a lottery ticket. So I would think of a lottery ticket in my hand which was issued by DMart. That might help. Let's see Super. Yeah, you can put Super Dhamaka over the lottery ticket. That would help. Super Dhamaka lottery ticket by DMart. That sounds good. Sassoon Chemicals and Drugs Limited. See, for me it's very easy since I'm inclined to finance the market. There is one company that is listed in, in the exchange, that is Stride Sassoon Pharma. So I can use that logo over here. It's very easy for me to remember that. Yeah, of course, it may happen since if you're not into that market, you may not know about this company. So you would have to come up with your own creative mind and think about something different. Next is Mehak Invest Private Limited. So Mehak is fragrance, that is the smell that is coming out. So I would think about a flower and from out of which the smell is coming out. And there's a guy over there who is a VC, venture capitalist, who is absorbing that smell. Okay, so that image can help me. I can get that animated. So I can feel like as if I'm watching some cartoon, some show on Cartoon Network. I just get it animated. Now this four examples, this was easy, this was a little tough. But there might come a time where for something that you will be facing will be you will not be in position to think of something. And for me it was this Karimbangalam on Ria Pengal Cemetery. Now I have no clue how can I relate to this to anything. So what I did is I thought actually yeah of course one small tip. If you know someone whose name is Karimbangalam, for all those people it will be very easy. But for people like me who have no idea, that's difficult. So how I overcame that? Well, Karim Mangalam I thought of as Kumar Mangalam Birla. Okay. So that helped me to remember his name. Now Andrea Pengal Cemetery, that was difficult. So what I thought is K-O-P-S. I just took the first word, K-O-P-S. KO in boxing, if you see if someone is knocked out because of KO. So what I thought is that Kumar Mangalam Billa is in a boxing ring and he knocked out some guy. And the video stopped and they were like came on, like a like bumper sticker like KO. Okay. And the video stopped. The bumper sticker came on KO and there was below that it was written PS, it is postscriptum. It is not a lie or it is not edited, something like that. So that video helped me, that visualization helped me to remember this case. But of course, you can have a different thing. You can get only thing what I want to share is be creative in this type of things. So since you are all aware about like basic structure, let's see Now you know the basic structure. Let's put this whole thing into a real example and put it together, like how it comes out. Okay. The first example that we had, CIT versus Singapore Airlines Limited, 2015, 377, ITR 372, Supreme Court. In this case, for us, 377 and ITR 372 is of no use. I will just take that out. I won't be even focusing on that. For Supreme Court, simple grandfather, 2015, my YouTube channel, CIT would be my mother, not wearing that t-shirt, well, for Singapore Airlines, well, for being an Indian and since I'm not bombarded with the Singapore Airlines logo or the flight or the name or anything, it's very difficult for me to visualize that. So instead of Singapore Airlines, I use the airline which is very, which is very quick to my brain. So that would be Jet Airways. Yeah, of course you can have SpiceJet or Indigo or Air India or anything you like. So, I can put Jet Airways, but of course the question or the case we don't have that. So we want Singapore Airlines to be there. So what I would use is I would put up a Jet Airways signature or logo. I would cancel it out with a Singapore logo. That would be quick one for me. Now let's put it all together. So my mother went to an airport. She went to a Jet Airways stop. He tossed it out Jet Airways and wrote Singapore. And that whole thing was captured in a video by my grandfather, and he uploaded it on YouTube, and it went viral. See that whole scenario, that short thing can help you remember, which is real clear. Let's take one more example before we before we complete that. CIT versus Avenue Superchits Private Limited, 2015 Karnataka. Well, CIT my mother, Avenue Superchits we already discussed, DMart lottery ticket of Super Dhamaka. 2015 would be my YouTube channel, Karnataka. Karnataka means Bangalore, Bangalore means IT capital. Now in this case, it's a bit difficult for me because IT capital, you cannot visualize IT capital as it is. So I would use a supercomputer. You can also use motherboard or Intel computer system like that, but I would use supercomputer, a computer which can predict the future very soon. Like amazing. So I have all the cards in my hand. I have all the images like my mother, my lottery ticket, YouTube channel, and a supercomputer. Of course, I have not written over here, but yeah, I was using a supercomputer. Now, how do we put it out? So I can think about my mother was using a supercomputer, and the supercomputer, popped out that go and buy a ticket, a lottery ticket of DMart with a number 2015, because that is the ticket that's going to win the lottery. So that is how I can visualize that, because that would, there is no, like, it's not real, right? It should be unreal, it should be real. So it would like she would be standing, she has an access to a computer. Let's make it more detailed. Let's say she is wearing a t-shirt with a YouTube logo. So you can say she is wearing a t-shirt with a YouTube logo and is accessing a supercomputer which asks her to buy DMart lottery ticket with Super Dhamaka written over there, which is 10 rupees, and which is going to make 1 billion. If the prize money is 1 billion, so how it works. You can think about it. Okay, now let's put it all together. What we have discussed so far. So now you have the whole basic strategy. You have to just tweak a little bit to use it to make it usable for yourself. and some parts. Let's discuss first with plaintiff versus defendant. This is Hello India Hello. You have to think about your own self and with some to romance quickly with matter of seconds. You have to visualize that type of image. Fear of verdict or judgment. One image for 1 year. You have to make a list. Same thing goes with adjudicating authority, the authority, and a particular image for them. Should be static in nature, no need to be dynamic, so keep on changing, you have to have it in static mode. The rest three volume journal report and page number, just ignore them, don't put much weightage on this from examination point. So now once you have all this thing, you know what the image is, you have put it up all together. What I would suggest is, write it down beside some. Of course, you cannot draw it out or make a video out of it, but of course, write it down that this is the real thing which I thought about, and just have it. And 1 month before the examinations, just refer it every week. So once a week, 4 times before the examination, and believe me, it's going to make wonders. And when you will be in the examination, it will be very easy for you to remember. Very, very easy. So you can use it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I would suggest if you feel like uh, if something that can be improved, you can comment it out. You know, and if you think there is some, you know, why don't you share your suggestions, your feedback, and so I guess that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed this and found this useful. Why don't you share your feedback in the comments below and boost me up. And don't be selfish. Tag or share this video with a friend who needs it, and it may help them. Don't be selfish. Just share this video, and please comment, share your feedback, because your comments are like oxygen to me. And you can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Amit Bavishi, or on Instagram, that is also Amit Bavishi. Well, that's it. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay connected. Bye.